like me.
Skywatcher, hanging out with Joe. We're looking at the beautiful sky here on a Friday, April 3rd. Look at that star. Planet, spaceship. What is it? Really haven't seen it that much out there. I think they say it's Venus and that in its route around because we're circling and twisting and endlessly traveling through a universe at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But look over there. That's the west horizon. Look at the moon up here. Look how bright it is. Incredibly bright. And if you can really take a look at it, I don't know, in the camera here, this part at the tip of my finger, the lower left-hand corner is not lit. But the rest of it looks like it's like shooting up this way. Now, come on, folks. I mean, look, the sun's way, supposedly, if it were the globe spinner, way over there. And it looks like the sun should be like way up there, not way down there. It's ridiculous. Not to mention, this car's been sitting here for a while. It's not putting off any heat. And still to this day, not a single rebuttal. We ought to put this in the New England Journal of Science. If we take a look, and our temperature gun here shows 49 degrees in the moonlight. Beautiful moonlight. Now, as soon as we go out of the moonlight, it gets warmer. Into the moonlight, it gets cooler. So that moon is shining its cool light, chasing the sun. It's irrefutable, folks. How is this something that we travel to? I mean, if they lied about it being sending its own light, because it can't be coming from the sun. Can't you understand that? If the sun were bouncing off the moon, and that means that the warmth of the sun would hit the moon and back on the earth, plus the sun that's remaining. So it would be warmer. It can't be cooler in the moonlight. The cool moonlight, amazing. It's one of those things. Now, why do we feel obligated to hold ourselves to this fairy tale fantasy of endless outer space that is completely ridiculous, that shows mountains of water 3,000, 6,000 feet high between, 100-mile apart islands out on the ocean that doesn't exist? You can only see so far out. Even on a perfectly straight, like they said, I think Kansas was flat as a pancake. Well, anyway, I do believe this helps keep a level of sanity because there's something above all this human commotion that goes on today and has been for quite some time. It's unraveling, as you can see. All the lies are falling apart. And keep in mind, many government agencies lied about each and every space travel. And they didn't sell out each other, did they? Were they kind of doing that on the COVID virus? Kind of similar? So they do stick together. So now you can see that all these things about the moon being its own light, never been up there, never can get up there. I think that's reserved for when we pass away and go off into a next dimension. Some believe they call that heaven. The Bible says it's the light of the night, and the sun is the light of the day. And clearly it's its own light. It's radiating its own light. Is it plasma? Who knows? We've never been there. Some things will always remain a mystery, as well as they should be. So, as we can see, there are ruling or steer captains of the world ideologies that have held tightly guarded secrets for the longest of times. And what they're doing now is they're hiding the reality that they want to move into a world government with the cashless currency to be able to use this digital 5G program for control feature for the population against their will, sneakily put in, and they're lying so hard on the news these days, they're at an unforgivable level. They can never regroup. That means that we still have to maintain a level of strength and diligence and vigilance about what's really going on. That's why some of the troops are moving in some of the areas. They don't even have the testing set up because you can call the hospitals and say, you'd like to take a corona test. Most of them won't give you one. Now, they can build cars practically overnight. And if they have one test and they've proved another test that they have them in existence, and they can mass manufacture them. They don't want you testing because they know that if everybody took the test, 90% would show positive because it's something that already exists in the body or it's on the swab itself.
That's why they're leaking it out the way they want to, so they can roll it, slow playing it. That's what they call it in poker. So they can, build the numbers up, build the hype. Oh, we're going to need to have the guard in here to help us take the test because of the mayhem. And when you look at independent observations of people with their video cameras across the country, the hospitals are as calm as a cucumber. Nothing really going on. They're laying off people. So there is something spiritually in the air where people have rearranged what they felt was important in their life. And it's caused and created a calmness. Well, there are some practicalities that still need to be worked out, and that we should work them out. We being the group, the people that have a concern and a vested interest. Not 100 people or 1,000 people, but the hundreds of millions of people per whatever nation that they're from, to redesign and make the kind of government that they would like to have. That is the core and the ultimate of our belief of the founding of this country and many other countries. Let's not give it up to a group of people that feels like it's okay to endlessly war, to overtax you, to not fix the roads while spending $18 billion a year on fake cartoon pictures for space and endless givings of our money to other countries in an unsensible way, from having a banking system ran by private bankers that simply decide that they can make up currency with no solidity in its backing, meaning you can't take that piece of paper and go get something for it as a solid staple item. They used to do it on the gold. They don't do that any longer. So essentially they just make it up, and we say, well, that's what their fee is. Well, what do you think is a reasonable fee for a computer program that could be constructed probably in a month with modern day technology? And these people make trillions of dollars. And look how well they've done. If you add up all the pensions and all the plans and all the debt, it's 75 trillion plus, and it's growing out of control. It's only going to be there temporarily. So, nothing to fear. You could drop a group of people with parachutes out of the sky in the middle of the woods, and they'll live. They'll find a good way to still survive. Now look what we have to survive with. Modern day houses and indoor plumbing and electricity. Gas lines that bring us heat in the wintertime. We maintain just a few of those things. We really don't need that much more while we figure everything out. So if we take this opportunity, we use it wisely. We comply only to the degree of being wise. We should then be able to create enough leverage and enough momentum to where we can construct a society that's reasonably suitable for whatever category of people that exist within reason. So there's going to be some people that have a significant amount of existing wealth, and some details would have to be worked out. It's going to be renters wanting to know, hey, I don't want to go off to some martial law, Department of Homeland Security tent home, and seeing that there's been so much that has fallen downhill, an excess level of fighting to hold on to what we feel like is ours without giving in would be a mistake, because it's going to create a lot of the extra tensions. So there's a lot of different planning, but as a whole, the base is still true. We have enough housing, because our alternative is not very good. We have enough housing, we have enough vehicles, and if we keep the gas flowing in, and we can still be able to grow things locally. Most areas have enough resources to be able to sustain themselves with a common effort. Then we can make that new government. We can open the doors for people that do want to take those positions. Way back in the day, people didn't want to become a politician. It was like a service. It's like, man, I got to do all this work as a service towards our country, to watch over it, to make sure that it didn't become what it became. Slowly but surely, it had progressed to a complete corrupt level, chaos. You got 2, 3, 4 different tongues from anywhere up in Washington and anywhere on the media. So when we bring this again, we can have pretty much a more simplified version of how we can rebuild everything, and we have a tremendous amount of wealth, all the infrastructure, all the roads, all the underground plumbing, piping, and everything else. Now, there are still a vested interest that's going to push forward. Well, please ask again. You don't really see there is no pandemic going on. It's only hysteria. The only pandemic is the virus, that box in the TV. That's the only thing that's making this whole thing. If you threw out that TV, you didn't watch TV, and you never heard of anything else, everything would seem normal. Most people are healthy most of the time, and there's always a certain percentage that get ill. Now they're taking that certain percentage, and they're using that as a smokescreen, a cover to do what they want to do as far as changing the structure. Now those people, why would we follow people who have so drastically messed this whole country up? We'd want to get away from those people. Oh, we're good. Who the heck is that? Oh my God, we got some nurses here. I'll be with you in just a minute here. So as we're wrapping everything up, we'll hope to get some progress here each and every day that comes by. God love us all.